Hi there, folks. It's everybody's favorite time of year. It's cool drinks, it's baseball, it's sunshine, and if you're a fan of the sport at any level, we're glad you stopped here. We've got your box checked, certainly. My name is Darren Sutton. This is Perfect Game Weekly. We're presented by Rawlings, the only show you'll find devoted to amateur baseball. We've got a heck of a show. We'll stop in with a talented 2023, a catcher, Oneill Feliz, from the Dominican Republic up to Florida into JUCO baseball. We'll see if his final stop is the big leagues. Then a gifted arm, a young man, Ryan McPherson, up to 95 on the mound. He's a 2024. His dream, to be a perfect game All-American and to do so at the end of the summer of 2023. And Mookie Betts will stop by. Our exclusive conversation with the PG alum and a man who every time he puts on a uniform in the big leagues is an MVP candidate. You know, Perfect Game, Betts is a great name because he came through the ranks, is excellent at identifying athletes that may fit at the next level. Now, that may be D2 baseball, that may be the NAIA, but many of them Division I and some of them professional athletes. But there becomes a gap. We see them, we talk about them, we get to know them at this age, and then we miss out on some time. We're going to fix that. We're going to fix it on this show. It's our first edition of Systems Check. Where are the Perfect Game alumni? Where are they impacting the game of baseball and, in essence, changing their lives? Let's check in.
With the fourth pick, the Boston Red Sox select Marcelo Meyer.
Reminds me of Chipper Jones, the sweet swinging left-handed side of Chipper.
He hits the ball high and deep down the right field line, and this ball is gone! Marcelo Meyer will catch a ball.
With the sixth pick, the Arizona Diamondbacks select Jordan Lawlar.
Oh, baby, that ball's way gone. That ball is gone. Woo! Shot towards right, down, Jordan Lawlar in the 10th. This is the greatest win in the history of the Amarillo Sod Poodles, and it is not close.
Montgomery now going to sit breaking stuff. Runner goes, pitch swung on, it belted to right field, and that's a no-doubter over the scoreboard.
Braden Montgomery sends one deep to center.
You're looking at a super athlete. You're running out of superlatives, right? When you look at this youngster, I mean.
Braden Montgomery, laser beam from right field on a line. Bang, right on the money.
Tommy White, he's going to lead the country in RBIs.
Hardest hit ball this year off the bat was 116 by Tommy White.
It's a grand slam for Tommy White.
Hit high and hit deep. You can pucker up and kiss that baby goodbye. Tommy White does it again. The tank is in motion.
With the first pick, the Baltimore Orioles select Jackson Holliday, a shortstop from Stillwater High School.
Go from kind of consensus back end first round to consensus might be the best player in the class is kind of rare.
Go one, Holliday blisters it to left field. Is that a two-homer night? You bet. And he continues to dazzle. My goodness.
Brock Porter, a perfect game All-American, one of the best right-handed pitchers in the country. He's explosive.
Porter, a fourth-round draft pick. An 0-2 pitch. Lawson waves and misses for strike three. That is the fourth punch-out for Brock Porter.
Called strike three. Called strike three. Backdoor breaking ball again.
And that's called strike three.
Being a northern guy, like you always hear, he's a northern bat. He's got to play in the south, but we're just as good as those guys down south.
That ball is smoked down the right field line. Ike Irish has 4 runs batted in already in the series.
This kid loves to hit.
And he rips one way back, and Ike Irish is hotter than a Rolex in a pawn shop.
All right, systems check complete. Love Ike Irish, one of my favorite catchers. Love what he's doing at Auburn. Not surprised at all. Remember, he was the MVP in the fall, when he just stepped onto campus as a freshman. When we come back, the story of a man who hopes his freshman year at the JUCO ranks is huge. He's Oneill Feliz. His journey, the Dominican Republic to Florida, and then he hopes JUCO and pro ball. We'll explain. This is Perfect Game Weekly. We're presented by Rollins. We welcome you back to Perfect Game Weekly. We're presented by Rawlings. Loving the Dominican Republic and its impact on the game of baseball. It's now become a generational thing, and it's amazing. And we're used to watching talented baseball players from the DR sign at 16 years old, being noticed at 14 and 15, and signing at 16. But what if you're a late bloomer? What if you're not quite ready? What's your choice then? Oneill Feliz and his family have moved to Fort Myers, Florida. He's at South Fort Myers High School, and by the way, the catcher is crushing it there. He'll play JUCO baseball next year, Florida Southwestern, and he hopes he's a bit of a trailblazer, as that's the way he starts his pro career. From our World Showcase, here's the story.
I'm Oneill Feliz. I'm a catcher, 2023. I grew up in a good city, Santo Domingo, in Dominican Republic. The first thing that I played in my life was baseball. I started to play baseball at 3 years old. My mom said the first gift they gave me in Christmas was a bat and a ball. It's like you have something in your heart, like a passion, like you feel that. When I came here, my first PG game, I was like, oh my God, those fields are beautiful. I'm gonna enjoy that because it's a really good opportunity to play in a big league field. Like, we don't have that one in my country. I moved to here, to Fort Myers, last August 5. I came here because I didn't get the opportunity to get signed in Dominican. I came here because I want to get drafted. I'm at my freshman year of college. I think that's my goal. The practice is really different. We don't usually practice every day because we don't always have time because we have to go to the school. We have sometimes to work. We don't have like enough time, but it's really good because we have coaches like with good knowledge because they went to a good college or they play in a good MLB team, like my coach, so they learned me too much how to be successful at that.
Hurricane Ian is lashing the state of Florida. Let's take a look at this footage from Fort Myers.
For me, it wasn't too hard, but I know it was a little bit scared for my family out of the country, but not for me because I was like, you know what? It's a hurricane. It's not my first time with the hurricane because in Dominican, it's an island, so we usually have a lot of hurricanes. The field from my school, it was bad. We don't have a scoreboard. The cages was bad. It was not good. We worked really hard in the first week, like trying to keep better the field. I saw too many people really working hard to keep better the field because it's our field, it's our house. Wolfpack family. You got me here. I'm your catcher and I help you in the field and also out of the field, always. I want to be an MLB player. I have a good discipline. Also, I have a good grades in the school. I always trying to put my effort in the class and also in the gym and in the field. I want to get ranked in the perfect game because I know that's gonna help me a lot with the draft. I'm gonna work hard to be proud where I'm from, to keep my mom to be proud of me and my family, because I really worked really hard to come here, and they give me the opportunity to live here. So I'm gonna make the hard work to make my dream.
Here's what you have to understand when we learned about this athlete at the World Showcase. Let's shift the spotlight on Florida Southwestern and understand that in 21 and 22, they had 9 players sign professional contracts. Zach Cole, the head coach, is at the forefront of pushing his players forward. So we take a peek at Carlos Rodriguez, who's from Nicaragua, went to Florida Southwestern, and now is pitching very, very well in the professional ranks. Amazing stories abound from Florida Southwestern. Oneill hopes to be one of them. When we come back, the story of Brian McPherson, a talented arm, dreaming of being a PG All-American and then a pro someday. And there is a man who is a pro, who knows all about this perfect game and amateur world, and he takes us back in time. It's Dodgers perennial all-star Mookie Betts, our exclusive conversation. This is Perfect Game Weekly. We're presented by Rollins. We welcome you back to Perfect Game Weekly, presented by Rawlings. Now, we assume if you're watching this show devoted to amateur baseball, you're a fan of the amateur game and, more importantly, the MLB draft. Understand this. An athlete's summer heading into his senior year is oh so important, and if that's news to you, we'll explain why. That athlete the baseball player hopes to be wearing a national team uniform. He hopes to be invited to an event like East Coast Pro, put on by Major League Baseball scouts, and most importantly, he hopes to be a perfect game All-American. Ryan McPherson, a Mississippi State commit, is in that group of elite arms. He's bounced high up in the rankings. As a matter of fact, up 16 overall in the national rankings and the number 15 right-handed pitcher in the country in the class of 2024. We got a chance to catch up with Ryan McPherson and understand the stuff that he brings to the mound when he works up to 95 miles an hour.
I love competition. I love pitching against the biggest games. I love pitching against the biggest competition. It's a big reason why I chose Mississippi State. I started playing baseball when I was 9, and it was on my rec ball team. And I remember the very first practice, I tried out for shortstop, and the ball would go right between my legs. I would run back and I'd throw it really far, and I just always threw hard from there. So a big thing that's changed over the most about my last year is my pitchability and my velo. I used to throw a lot slower, and because of my velo, it's helped out not just my fastball, but also my other pitches. So my force seam grip, I'm on the inner part of the ball. My fingers are pretty close together, and this gives me some more pronation of the ball, which gets the ball to tail a little bit more. And because of that, you can get a little bit more spin rate on it. It just makes me feel like I'm throwing harder. Also, for the little inseams of my fingers, I put that on the seams so I don't have to grip the ball as hard, so it doesn't give me some forearm soreness. My curveball, I threw it like this the other day, and a big thing is I'm just focusing on my middle finger and my thumb, because if you focus more on your pointer, then you're not going to get as much spin rate and be able to pull on the ball. My changeup, I'm like this. I used to be like this right here, but I changed to here because of the seams. I could get more pronation on it, get more spin, get more just movement on it. Last week I was at the Florida Baseball Armory, and they told me to change my grip like this. So with my middle finger, I could have inside of the seam, and I could have more pull on it, so I could get more pronation, just more movement on the ball. It just works out a lot better. I learned my cutter halfway through my high school season last year. I go the same thing with the little inseams on the seams, and I'm going like this, and I'm just focusing on my middle finger. I'm just coming across, and it just moves a lot. So my head the whole time is I'm just trying to stay centered with the catcher's mitt, trying to just stay as most focused as I can, least movement as I can, because when you're just going, you don't want to have a herky-jerky head, because that's going to mess up your arm angle and mess up everything. Same as when you're sprinting, or if you look at professional sprinters, their heads are as straight as possible, and it just keeps everything more in line. And just same thing for pitching, same concept, just try to keep it straight. In my motion, when I go up, I'm going to get right here, and then I'm going to try to hinge into my back hip before my knee, so it just gets more power, you sit into it longer, it's a lot stronger. And then with that, you want to kind of invert your front foot, so you activate both sides of the glute. For example, if I'm holding a big pull and I'm only holding the back side, it's going to be a lot heavier, but if I'm holding both sides of it with them both hips, it's going to be a lot more stable. So I'm going to do that with it also. I'm going to land with it, and then right before I land, I'm going to activate my hip. And then big thing is when you're throwing, you want to have that 90-degree angle also, or a little bit out, because if you're here, when you're pitching, you're going to come and snap your arm, which is going to put stress on your UCL. And then also, which for the UCL, your front foot, if you don't plant and stick it, if you just spin out, then your arm's going to try to get to the catcher's mitt, try to get it. So your arm's going to snap, and it's going to put a lot of stress on there. So it's a lot of mechanics, come with health and just everything. A big goal of mine is to do the All-American game. My dad, he's helped out a lot. He's brought me to a lot of places. He's my biggest supporter, but he's also sometimes my biggest hater. He's very, very hard on me, but it's a really good thing. He comes from a military background, so if he messes up in that situation, you could die possibly. So he brings it out here, but it's really helped out a lot to make me more focused in the game and just be more locked in the game. I just have so much confidence in my pitches, and I just feel like I can't get anyone out.
We're kind of excited to make that connection, by the way, because he's from North Broward Prep in Florida. Xavier Edwards is from North Broward Prep as well. A friend of this show, a friend of Perfect Game, and by the way, a PG All-American, the first ever alum of North Broward Prep to make the big leagues, and he just picked up his first big league hit on May 3rd against the Atlanta Braves. When we come back, a man who's done damage to the Atlanta Braves and every other team in Major League Baseball. It's the amateur journey and the incredible memories of Mookie Betts, the Dodgers star, right around the corner. This is Perfect Game Weekly. We're presented by Rawlings. We welcome you back to Perfect Game Weekly. We're presented by Rawlings. Every week we marvel. Our athletes at the PG level, they spoil us at the prep level. We're blown away by what they can do. How about the PG alums that get to the major leagues and then do incredible things like Mookie Betts? When you look back on the journey of Mookie Betts back in high school, he was the best high school basketball player that his coach ever coached. He made it clear, I've never seen a better. He should have been the best football player on the field according to all the visiting referees that watched him play. Mom and dad wouldn't let him play though. They pulled him from football. He's a 300 bowler. And then, after 10,000 innings in the outfield in the major leagues, the PG alum said, hey, Dodgers leadership, I'll help you out. I'll play shortstop. Haven't done it since rookie ball. That's Mookie Betts. But it all started as an amateur, as a PG alum. Let's go back in time. Here's my conversation with the Dodgers star.
And a high fly ball for Mookie Betts to left field. And Mookie with a blast into left center field.
That's at the wall. Leaps. Did he get it? He did! Unbelievable catch by Mookie Betts!
It's a ground ball up the middle. Mookie at short will step on second. Jump throw to first. That's two.
Take me back to when you fell in love with this game. The why and the most vivid memory you have of putting a bat in your hand and competing and playing the game of baseball and falling for it. When did that happen?
I actually honestly didn't learn to love baseball until I got into pro ball. It took me a while to love baseball because I love basketball. That's like my first love, and it's too small to play basketball. And I actually really enjoy football. My mom stopped me from playing football, and so it took me time to learn to love it because baseball is such a failure thing, and who wants to go fail all the time, and even through minor leagues, I still didn't. It took me a little while, man, because I didn't play well, and when you're not doing something well and whatnot, you just you don't really love it. And then obviously some success brought some love as well. And once I became kind of successful, I think that's when I started to love the game.
You were a really good high school baseball player, but what was your draft day like? And take it forward beyond that. What was draft day like? And then you played PG events after you got drafted.
Yeah.
Well, how did that come together?
It was crazy. It was crazy because we didn't do anything, but we were told a few things. And hey, we may take you in the the second round. We're looking at the third round now, and then then hearing nothing. Hearing nothing for a day. Really, that's a long time to really to hear nothing from teams that were calling you and scouting you and doing a lot before. And then the second day is when we got the call, and I was just playing my video game. We had it going in the background. My mom was doing work on her computer, and I didn't hear anything until I heard my name. So I just heard, Mookie Betts, and then I think we heard that, and we weren't sure what really happened. But then, we got drafted, so it was been pretty cool since.
You were committed to Tennessee. Can you explain kind of the recruiting process back then? And Tennessee was probably watching you quite closely, I'm guessing.
Yeah, for sure. Tennessee, they were going to actually let me play basketball as well. So it was hard to pull me away from that. We took it down to like the last 20 minutes or so before I signed, and I was prepared to go to school, and we were packing up to go to school and everything. And yeah, man, that was it was fun though. It was fun. It was crazy, but it was fun, man. I feel like we did, both sides did it right. We did the whole process right. We did our part in kind of standing our ground, and they did their part in standing their ground, and we both met in the middle. And it was like I said, I think both sides did it right.
When you became a pro in those first couple of years, and you talked about like enjoying, experiencing success, and you really did. I mean, you earned the right to be there, but then you did. What changed the most those first few years of pro baseball?
My body. I was only 150 pounds when I graduated high school, and I was just like kind of out athlete everybody. And when you get into pro ball, everybody's the athlete. Everybody was the best athlete at their school. And so the first thing that had to change was my body. That was the first thing that changed. My mind didn't really change until I got to the big leagues, really. Just because I didn't know, you play and you learn through experience. Being around Pedroia, and Ortiz and Hanley, Jackie, Xander, countless number of guys, right? Just getting all this info from them. That's when my mental really changed.
It's interesting. I read an article about you about that unique combination of how to be competitive and how to be, intense, and yet how to be respectful. You've managed to do that throughout your career. You've created a space for yourself where you could really be whoever you want. How does one balance that? Or is that who you are?
It's tough. I gotta really give it to my parents. My parents really raised me the right way and understanding to be competitive, but also be humble. Anything and everything can be taken away from you at any given time, and so appreciate being in the moment. Appreciate what you have. You don't have to brag on yourself. Just go and play and go do whatever it is you do. But if you're gonna do it, Like, go be competitive. I don't care if it's tic-tac-toe, whatever it is, like, play to win. Play everything to win. My mom and my dad really instilled that, play everything to win, but don't be disrespectful either. And I can't really explain it, it's just something that I kind of got.
There's a kid by the name of Heath Whitlock. He's heading into his senior year, and he's committed to go to Mississippi State like you were committed to go to Tennessee. And he's ranked number 307. Now, you probably didn't even know this, but upon your graduating year, you were ranked number 307. And I find it interesting that Heath Whitlock's about to go into his summer before his senior year. You're a dude. If you're ranked 307, you're still a dude. What advice would you have for Heath Whitlock, like Mookie Betts, ranked number 307?
I would just tell Heath, man, to just go play. Don't worry about the rankings. I got drafted in the 5th round. There were so many people ahead of me, and so many things that, so many opportunities that other people had that I didn't. But at the end of the day, Heath, hey man, you go ball. That's the only thing you can do. That's the only thing you can control, is to go play. Go play hard each and every day, practice hard, do anything and everything you can to be successful. And after that, man, only it's up to God, There's nothing else you can do. You do everything within your control, and then don't worry about it.
We want to thank the Dodgers and for Mookie for taking time to take a look back on his amateur journey. You could tell he enjoyed looking back at all those that have touched his life. We also want to thank Danny Wexelman, who produced 2 really strong features from the World Showcase and also from the main event. And we'll want to remind all of you, if you're passionate about this sport at the amateur level, grab your smart device and download our brand new app, Perfect Game TV. A lot of streaming platforms too, Roku and Vizio, you can find us there. My name's Darren Sutton. Enjoy all the games this week and the weeks to come throughout the summer. This is Perfect Game Weekly. We're presented by Rollins.